Hanratty back to pass. Complete at the 20. The flyer. Touchdown, Notre Dame.
I feel right now that I'm the number one quarterback for Steelers.
Hanratty down the center to Seymour. Complete touchdown.
Welcome to Hanratty'S Huddle, sports talk with the College Football Hall of Famer, Terry Hanratty.
Welcome back to Hanratty'S Huddle with your host, Terry Hanratty, the College Football Hall of Fame inductee soon to be. I'm Dave Toromio, and we're coming fresh off a show last night, Terry. We had a lot of fun at the clubhouse.
That was. The clubhouse was a good time. We have an audience there. There's probably, 50 people showed up.
Yeah.
And so they joined in and clapped and they, gave us a little accolades every once in a while.
And really, truth be told, they were all excited to see you and get pictures with you.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, that's true. Yeah. They kind of pushed me aside, but it's like, who's this clown?
We had a good crowd, though.
I was the chauffeur for the night. No, it was fun. It was a good crowd. It was also for a good cause. Mark does this. His dad died of Alzheimer's, and he tries to help the Alzheimer's Association with their walk, and he brings people in to talk about it. It's a little, as I said on the ride home, it's tough because it's an upbeat, fun show, you know, and we goof around, and then when you have a serious subject like that, it's kind of hard to bring it back to getting goofy. But
it is a very, very serious subject.
It's very serious.
I've had friends with Alzheimer's, and it's not fun. It's not fun at all for the family, for the person going through it. And,
no, there's a time to joke and a time to be serious, and that is never a time to joke about that subject. And so we brought it back, and we had some good conversation after with you, obviously, and you stayed on. And a couple of things you mentioned last night, because I'll mention it now because tonight is possible clinching game for Oklahoma City over Indiana. But you like Indiana tonight to continue.
I think at home.
At home, yeah.
And I think there's something in the background that OKC would. Obviously, they want to do it in 4. Right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
Now that they get down to the game 6 tonight, why not do it at home?
Well,
the fans that come home, more money for the kitty.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I just think that. I think Indiana may have one last burst.
Okay.
And I think OKC's the better team.
Yeah, I do too.
But I think
you think it's going to go 7.
Go 7, and
I think it's going to end tonight.
I'm glad hockey's over.
Yeah, well, that's
my favorite sport. How can hockey be won by a Florida team in the middle of June?
Florida the last 5 years of the Florida team. Tampa won 2 in a row.
Right.
And then was interrupted by Colorado, and then 2 by this other Florida team, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay. So it's a very the world is upside down because a Canadian team hasn't won in like 25 years or more, and Canada really, this is their sport. And most of the players are Canadian, so I never understood that. Well, hey, you haven't won a but they're still Canadian players. So
they're all drafted. Yeah. There's probably as many Canadian players on Florida as there is on Ottawa.
Exactly. Yeah, or Edmonton or any other team. Yeah. So, all right. So that one is done. Hockey season is over. Before you know it, they'll be in camp. And so
that's amazing.
That's a long season.
That's a long season. They got to think of something.
It's way
do we actually need that much basketball and hockey?
No, I agree with you. I think
football is getting stretching themselves to being overplayed.
Yeah.
But
they are.
The hockey and basketball are just
too much.
I think down deep the powers to be.
Yeah.
The way Goodell has stolen most of the year for the NFL.
Yeah.
That they want to say, okay, this is our time.
Takes them back. Yeah.
There's no football. All they got these OTAs, and that's not a big deal. Let's put our playoffs here and let's just ramp up the enthusiasm.
Yeah,
that's my speaking.
No, you're right. I agree with you. I think if basketball and hockey are winter sports, and they are here, then they should be over, by Memorial Day. Because at the start of summer, we shouldn't be talking about winter sports. I'm sorry. It's just that's how I feel. But you and I grew up in a different era. But there is something you said, we mentioned about the money. Obviously, if OKC takes it to a Game 7, we actually got some other news last night that we shared on the show, which I'm sure everybody knows by now, but your thoughts on the Lakers' valuation. Now, the Lakers are bought for like $68 million.
This guy has some cash because he also owns the Dodgers.
I guess
and that was not a cheap purchase.
But $10 billion?
$10 billion. Remember when Ballmer bought the Clippers?
Yes, I do.
And I think he paid like $4 billion.
Yep.
And at the time I said, is he
That's
crazy
insane,
for overpaying for a franchise like that? Now, the Lakers, $10 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, they are one of the premier. You know, you got Celtics and you got the Lakers, and those are two premier franchises in basketball. And they have, you know, it must be there because these guys are smart people. They're not overpaying for much. And the thing is, what you have to realize in all sports, ownership cannot be your. People who own franchises. That franchise cannot be your income.
Right.
The owners make money on the appreciation of the team.
Well,
and you have to be able to put all the money back into the team to make it competitive.
You should.
And we keep going back to Pittsburgh for not doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
And he puts all that money into his pocket that the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Mets they overpay for all these players and they have to pay a penalty and Pittsburgh gets $50 million and the owner puts it in his pocket rather than into the team. And
well, he's not the only one, but
no, there's not the only one, but this one I'm closest to.
Yeah. But when we talk about this stuff, it makes me think of, and you know, I don't think much of James Dolan because obviously anybody or Woody Johnson, those guys, they didn't do anything to earn this money; they inherited it. Okay, so that doesn't make them experts. But think about if the Lakers alone, no building, just the Lakers, $10 billion. Dolan's got the Knicks, the Rangers, the Garden, Radio City Music Hall, and by the way, he's the guy who his people were behind the Sphere in Las Vegas. That's an entity he owns as well. So, I mean, my God, I mean, what if you wanted?
What are the Knicks worth?
Yeah,
yeah.
Knicks. I mean, and
when you saw when the Knicks were in the playoffs, the ratings were up. When they got eliminated,
that's right.
The ratings went right down.
That's correct.
So that tells you. Yeah. I mean, New York is still the number one hub.
New York is the media hotbed and the sports.
Have to win.
It's just we need a team that wins, and we don't have any right now, including the Mets and the Yankees, who are both on extended losing streaks, and it's very, very scary. I mean, they both went through this at the same time. The Yankees lost again last night. The Mets.
I mean, the Pirates are scoring more runs than the Yankees. Come on.
That's scary. Yeah, no, I hear you. So, but like I said last night, it's only June. These are the ebbs and flows of a long Major League Baseball season, obviously. So
the thing is, when you look at the end of every baseball season, it's the same percentage wins.
Yeah.
There's no one no one's ever won 70% of the games.
No,
it's always been high 50s.
Okay,
and you would think somewhere along the line someone would jump out and win 70 games, but it doesn't work. It's just that they all balance off at the end of the year. You know, they can all play 20 games and have the season over with and have the same turnout.
And it's funny you should mention that because obviously baseball is a big statistical sport, sabermetrics, analytics. And I've had this idea years ago, and I'm surprised nobody's done this. Actually, I would love to do it because I think it's logical. You know, think about what you just said. In Major League Baseball, they play 162 games, right?
Right.
Every team, no matter how good they are, wins 50 games. Yeah. Every team, no matter how bad they are, loses 50 games. Right? So let's just say everybody's 50-50. Now, you can identify those games when you're watching. It's like, okay, this is a game we were never going to win. Like the Mets last night, okay? They got shut out 5-0. They were just never in that game. That was one automatic loss, right?
Right.
So, really, the difference in a baseball season is those 62 games. Yeah. And that can be something where you have a debate on, okay, was this one of the 62 that's going to put them over the edge or put them under? Right? So you could say Colorado with those 62 games, well, if their record is going to be 20-42, right? So they're way down here. But the Yankees, you say, okay, they're going to be on the opposite end. You know, they're going to be 45 and whatever, 15. So that's the point. It's like, but those are the games you want to pay attention to.
But you can't define when those games are going to happen.
You can't define them one thing, but you can define after the fact. So let's say last night, let's say a team, lost in extra innings, game that they blew the lead. And you say, that's a bad loss. That's going to go out in your loss column on the 62. The whole season comes down to 62 games, right. Win, lose, and then it is arbitrary because you can say, oh yeah, but this happened, that happened. So that's where that's where you would have like an official score or somebody say, put it in this block, you would have. So, I don't know. That's just something I've always thought about. They really should kind of identify. Like, this was not this is a bad loss or this is a great win. So
I really think baseball is really hurting themselves by not expanding the pitcher roster.
they have to do it. They have
to do it.
Yeah.
You keep the position
Yep.
players the same.
Yep. Yeah.
But how do you define Ohtani? He's a freak.
Okay, when he's one of so he might take
But
two
you have
roster
to.
spots.
These guys are.
You count them twice.
There are just too many injuries. They have, and these pitching staffs are just worn out.
No, we're not. Look at the Mets alone. They've lost two starters in the last week.
No, the Yankees lost the number one pitcher before the season started.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely insane. And if they expand that by 2 or 3 extra pitchers,
Yep.
we
They
can
have
bolster the starting rotation and bolster the bullpen. I think that would really help.
Who would be again? I mean, I think the owner. I mean, this
is payroll. That's all.
The union would be for it, right? Because it's like we're adding more players getting paid, and maybe there's a way to do it where they're a taxi squad. They're with the team.
The big money makers will be for it because they don't give a damn.
Yeah,
they're going to pay the money no matter how many players you give me.
That's what it's going to come down to. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be the Cincinnati Reds. It's going to be the Pirates. It's going to be the smaller market teams that aren't doing worth a damn.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, so a couple things you wanted to touch on, and one is very concerning to us as people who enjoy all sports, including women's basketball, is this Caitlin Clark thing. It's just not going away, and I don't.
No, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
I mean, she was out for 2 weeks.
Right.
Or was it? Yeah, about 2 weeks.
And then we saw what happened to ticket sales.
And ticket sales went to zero almost.
Yeah.
They got knocked out 50%. That doesn't happen in a 2-week period. I mean, you can take Judge out of the Yankees for 2 weeks. You're not dropping your ticket sales at all.
No.
And you got Caitlin Clark. And these other players are very stupid. They're killing the goose.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to ride this lady
of her. Yeah.
because she is putting people in the seats, and that's what's going to. Believe me, the NBA, who finances the WNBA, is watching.
Yeah.
And they are seeing how everything is acting on the court. I mean, these guys look worse than the Big East.
Yeah.
When they were crushing people.
Yeah.
And they had to calm that down a bit. And these ladies get on the court, and they are just singling out Caitlin Clark to take a shot at her. And that Mabry, Notre Dame girl, was one that took a shot at her the other night. And I was really pissed when I saw that. I mean, that was absolutely an ugly hit that she knocked her down on. And I don't care. I haven't heard any rumors that Caitlin Clark is a jerk, a big mouth, or whatever. Yeah. I don't think she does anything. I think she plays basketball, and that's about it. And these girls should realize that, hey, this is our goose. Our contract is up. We are negotiating with television and the NBA to get more money. Why are you putting this stuff on TV? Why are you doing this to this girl? Let's promote things and really
work together.
Negotiate from strength rather than doing this garbage.
And it all seems to be just coming from jealousy over her. I don't think it's racial. I really don't. I don't know what it is, but I mean, I know she's straight. She's engaged, and I mean, there's something here that is just not right.
She rubs them the wrong way, and a lot of it has to do with the girl from Chicago. The bad and the nastiness they had in college when they played against each other. Going back and forth, and I think it's been Angel Reese.
Yeah,
and I think she's carried it into the pros.
Yeah,
and it's the commissioner WNBA has got to take a stand. You got to get these owners of these franchises together and these coaches together and say, knock it off right now, or we're going to put heavy fines on these ladies, and they don't make that much money anyway.
Yeah,
you put a $10,000 fine on these, and they make $75,000.
Yeah,
so that's going to hurt big time.
I think, and this is not it has nothing to do with male, female, or anything. I would call this person out if they were a male. But this is another sign of weak leadership at the top, just like the NCAA.
Yeah.
Just like the NCAA has a weak leader as its president. This Catherine Engelbert, who is the commissioner of the WNBA, is showing that she has no juice whatsoever. She's a former accountant. I don't know how that qualified her to be the commissioner of the WNBA.
She played basketball.
Okay, she was a player.
She was
sure.
a player.
Okay. At the end of the day, you have to take a stand. You got to straighten this stuff out, and because if you don't get it right, your league is going under.
Yeah.
Your league will be a riddle in 2 years.
If Caitlin Clark is seriously hurt,
yeah,
and she can't play anymore,
yeah,
that league's going right down the tube.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the draw right now. And you hope there's more that follow her.
Yeah.
That are going to really, get these girls involved in the game. And, these mothers of youngsters who are playing basketball want them to watch Caitlin Clark perform.
Yeah.
She does things the right way. I mean, she's a hustler. She plays defense. She can hit that three. You see that 3-ball she hit the other night?
Yeah, she can shoot.
She barely crossed midcourt and put it up all net. Whoa.
Listen, we're not saying that she's a perfect person. Maybe
No.
she trash talks. Whatever it is.
They all trash talk.
But of course they do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
NBA and every pro person.
Yeah. All right. So that's craziness, and the continued craziness with young guys. Now this is a guy who.
Oh.
I mean, he should know better. I mean, he should have learned this when he was a teenager. This is just, you can't do this. You cannot do this shit.
No.
So there's Sanders once again. You told me on the way home last night, and I was shocked.
He was only driving over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Well, what's the problem?
Yeah.
And the thing is, that's discipline.
Yes.
And that's teamwork. And that's you're being involved with. He's a Cleveland Brown now.
Yes.
And he should have been taught by his father a long time ago, because Dion went through
right.
all this stuff many times, and Dion played it right. Dion talked a lot, but he stayed straight and narrow.
Yes.
Yeah. And the right way. He did it the right way. He was a great player, a great athlete, baseball, whatever. But you got to instill in these kids discipline.
Right.
And you can't be taking your car out going over 100 miles an hour.
No.
And first of all, you shouldn't be driving that car. I mean,
No.
give him one of my Chevy trucks.
You're just inviting, problems, and it's like you're right. It's a discipline issue.
Well, that's all it is. I mean, and hopefully the Browns take him aside into a meeting room and say, "Okay, guy, this is why it's going to work.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to work. If you don't abide by the rules here,
Yeah.
Because we just had the kid that just got out of prison for killing a couple people driving drunk. And I'm not saying that Shador was
Right,
drunk.
I understand.
I doubt if he was.
But more can happen at 100 miles an hour. Than
You lose control. You blow a tire.
Yeah.
I mean, and then a deer jumps out on you. Anything can happen to cause an accident, and people are going to suffer dearly.
That's right.
And that's something that you just can't do. Everybody speeds a little.
Of course.
Under control.
Oh, right.
Under control.
Going
100 miles an hour, you're really not under control.
Not under control.
Because your reactions aren't that quick.
Right. And it is a discipline thing. You're right, Terry. And it's also, you know what it is? For me, it's a leadership thing.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you're
He's the
quarterback of this team. People look at you as a leader and as an example. And what you do off the field, in the locker room, in a restaurant, wherever you are, people are they're gonna look at you, okay? And you're a reflection of us. That's what, if I were the GM or the coach, I would say, this is,
And you are, whether you want to be or not, you are a role model.
That's right.
Because kids look up to you.
That's right.
And you cannot prevent them from it.
Yeah.
And that's why you have to really, when you're in a restaurant, you mind your P's and Q's.
Do you know where that came from, by the way?
Yes, it's a British term.
Very good.
Yes,
Do you know what it stands
P's,
for?
yeah, I knew it one time. P's.
Okay.
What is it?
It was in the bar,
Yes.
because it was mind your pints and quarts.
Pints and quarts, that's what it was, yes.
Yeah.
And I say, look, a little trip. You get everything on this show. Come on now. We're not just sports
We're
here.
educating you. We're giving you fatherly advice here. Come on now.
All that good stuff.
Grow up.
I just hope Dion made a phone call.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To Shador.
Yes.
And say, okay, that car is coming home. Here's your Chevy truck.
Yes.
Same thing Hanratty drives, you're going to drive.
I actually have a football question for you. Remember that sport, football?
Yeah.
We'll be talking about it again soon, folks. I promise you. But the Ravens made an interesting pickup because did you see this?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know how they added him.
Well, he got cut by Green Bay. This cornerback who was supposedly pretty good. One of the better ones, they say, and it's the Ravens are actually, being talked about. Listen, now they were talked about before this, but I can't think of his name. Jameer, anyway, I'll find it. But yeah, here it is. Jair Alexander.
Right.
Jair, Jaire. I don't know too many Jairs. But anyway,
he's good.
He's
good. He's good. When you add a lockdown corner like that, that takes away half your field.
Yeah.
So that is going to be even more difficult for Aaron Rodgers to.
But, and here's the but. Apparently, now there's a reason why he got cut.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, so if he's a head case, listen, maybe Harbaugh or maybe the team, surrounding team, the veterans there. Again, it comes down to leadership, right? Hey, you're not going to get away with that crap here. We play as a team or a unit. But buckle up and go. So, but if it works out for them, that's a great. That's going to be a very interesting team to watch this year.
Well, the story you were telling me last night about the Colorado receiver that number one pick in the draft. When he was
dancing on the practice,
yeah,
Hunter, yeah. At the mini camp, they had music playing. And he's walking back to the huddle, dancing, and the teammates said to him, "Listen, this is the NFL, all right?
Yeah.
We don't do that stuff here. We're here to work." So, and somebody has to say that, and somebody's got to say that to Shador, and somebody got to tell him this guy.
Because football, more than any, I've said 100 times, more than any other sport, is the biggest team sport. And everybody's got to work together. Everybody's got to be on the same page. If that left guard makes a mistake, he makes the quarterback look horrible. If the defensive end doesn't make the rush, the quarterback throws a touchdown pass. You have to be on the same page.
Yes, you do. So, all right. Well, listen, that's all the news I got for you. We didn't get the golf right last week at all with U.S. Open, but that was an
interesting. How was that putt, huh?
That was a great putt.
I was so happy for him. He had won 8 J.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Or Strom?
Spawn, I think, right?
Spawn.
Yeah.
And he had won $800,000 total in his career. And he won $4.5 million with the U.S. Open. But more importantly, how about the damage in the clubhouse?
Boy, that was bad. Wyndham Clark is banned.
Wyndham Clark, come on, man.
Banned from he's banned from that.
He'll never play at Oakmont and never play U.S. Open in Oakmont.
Right.
And what got me was there were some players that come out and defended him.
That's all right.
I go, whoa, what's this all about?
Listen,
these guys are, come on, you're playing golf for a living, pal. I know it's hard. I know it's going to be frustrating. Right. Life is frustrating.
Yeah.
So don't get me right, going in there breaking up all this Oakmont. I played there 100 times.
Yeah.
Living in Pittsburgh, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And the history in that clubhouse is phenomenal. And the locker room is pristine, and it's
property damage.
Beautiful.
You don't do that to
you don't
somebody
do
else's
that
property.
in someone else's house.
Yeah, go to your own house and trash your own.
If you want to go bust up your own bedroom, go do it. Knock it out. But don't do that at Oakmont. Thank God the people at Oakmont threw them out. That's good.
Yeah, well, that is good. Yeah, so they have to set the example there, and shame on him. And hopefully, I haven't heard him say I'm sorry. Maybe he did. I don't know, but
he said he's gonna pay for it. Who cares? Oakmont doesn't need money.
Yeah, that's right.
They're doing okay.
And especially in a game like golf, where it's a gentleman's game, and you call, you self-police, and you. Listen, everybody understands frustration, and we saw you're throwing a club or you hit the club in disgust, but these guys, they're on display. They're on public display. There's cameras everywhere. I'm not in the locker room, but still.
And I get a kick out every year, the U.S. Open, especially at Oakmont, because I played the course. It's unbelievable. And how these, normally they go to a tournament, they shoot 20 under.
Yeah.
And they walk away, all this stuff nice and easy. Here's a chip here, chip there.
Yeah.
Oakmont, you got to work for a living.
Yeah.
You got to keep the ball straight. If you don't keep it straight, it's going to cost you a stroke.
Yeah.
So that's the whole key. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like somebody's shooting 20 under and others 20 over.
Yeah.
Everybody's sort of, not every tournament should you be 20 under to win.
That's right.
It's going to be competitive and be 5 under to win, or 4 under, whatever.
Or 1 under,
whatever. And make it very difficult and show the, you and I, we struggle on every golf course.
Right.
So why shouldn't they have to struggle on one every 8 years?
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, give me a break here. Wait, everybody bitching about how difficult the golf. Right. Even Rory McIlroy was bitching about how difficult it was, and his buddy Lowry.
Well, look at Scheffler. Scheffler wasn't in the.
He was calm.
He's just like, hey.
He knew the course beat him up.
Yeah.
And he walked away, got his plane, took off. He
go.
didn't bitch about it. Come on. That shows some
that's life.
dignity
right?
out there.
That's right.
And thank God the people at Oakmont, Mac, and they know how to toughen up a course. We played there one year. We used to have our NFL charities in Pittsburgh chapter at Oakmont every year.
Yep.
And we had this really good golfer on our team, and he hit a fairway shot and hit going right to the green, and the ball landed probably 2 feet off the green.
Yep.
Great shot.
Yep.
And there were 5 of us, celebrity, me, and 4 guys who pay to play, and they're usually the better players. 5 of us walking around could not find the ball.
Wow.
It was after the Open, the first cut. They've already cut it once, and we could not find the ball. And not till someone tramped on it did they say, "Hey, it's over here." That's how bad the rough is. And then you're 2 feet off the green.
Yeah.
So it's wild.
Because you don't have guys marking it. They're like these guys. As soon as the ball lands, somebody's going over there trying to find it, mark it for you. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's easy. We didn't have that. We had to walk up the fairway. We know we're right there. Right off the green, 2 feet at least. Whatever. And I get up there, no one could find it.
I have to say,
amazing.
I haven't played in a while, but to me, that is the most frustrating thing. One of the most frustrating things about golf is you hit a good shot, it's in play, and you go up there and it's like, where the hell is it? I know it's like one thing if you hit a bad shot and it's in the woods, you're like, okay, but you hit a good shot and you go up and you can't find it. And
you don't want to be penalized for a good shot.
Yeah,
but those church pews, they're fun. I've been in that.
Yeah,
I've been whacking the ball out of that a few times back in the day. Oh yeah, that's fun.
All right, Terry. Well, we got some good time in here, and we had covered some area. Next week we're gonna have a special show. It should be a lot of fun. I think we'll talk about it next week when we're on site.
Right.
Okay.
Should be interesting.
Should be fun. All right. Well, for Terry Hanratty, I'm Dave Toromeo. Rob Adams is busy.
On assignment again.
On assignment. He's a busy guy. All right, Rob. Thanks for everything. And signing off for Hanratty'S Huddle. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Hanratty'S Huddle. Want to get in touch? Reach out on our Facebook page. We'll see you next time.